President of the International Union of Socialist Youth, Comrade Jesus Tapia, Secretary General of IUSY, Comrade Bruno Concalves, Vice President of IUSY, Comrade Kulekani Skosana, and all members of the Presidium of IUSY, and all member organizations of IUSY throughout the world, fighting for a socialist in power. And I've been requested to address how did the pandemics affected worldwide partnership. In terms of our situation in the South and the Southern Africa, the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic impacted on every nation around the world, sending the world and national economies on a free fall as a consequence of the restrictions that curtailed economic and social activity. This had a devastating impact on many sectors and livelihoods of millions of people around the world. The transport sector has not escaped the devastation of the pandemic, and many of our people have been left unemployed or struggling to make ends meet in its wake. Despite the odds, our people have remained resilient and hopeful that our collective efforts will sufficiently reignite the economy for them to put bread on the table to feed their families. Many governments committed to plans aimed at ushering in sustainable economic reconstruction and recovery interventions that support sustainable livelihoods and create new opportunities. Transport is the backbone of the economy, from local public transport to global supply chains. Transport brings opportunities for the poor, and it enables economies to be competitive. It links producers to markets, workers to jobs, students to schools, and the sick to hospital. The loss of revenue during the lockdowns for the various transport modes presented an economic challenge as transport operators experience an unexpected shortfall in their revenues. The COVID-19 pandemic has dealt a massive blow to the global economy. On the supply side, businesses have been forced to temporarily close due to the shortage of input material from suppliers and the need to protect workers. Demand for goods have also declined as consumers and households faces financial constraints. This will continue to affect industrial output in the short to medium term. These confluences of supply and demand shocks have put considerable stress on the logistics sector. The decrease in cargo volumes is threatening the viability of many logistics companies. Restrictions introduced by many governments adversely affected the income of both employers and employees operating in the transport and logistics industry. On the contrary, the hard lockdown restrictions might have increased demand for storage facilities as non-essential items were not permitted to be transported to retail outlets. The economic recovery and expansion potential of investing in the transport sector has to be harnessed in targeted and highly catalytic ways, which mobilize the widest range of activities in order to represent a strong return and a strong value proposition for blended and commercial finance. To truly live up to its designation as a network industry, transport must activate multiple overlapping networks of economic activity. In this regard, I have no doubt that COVID-19 will continue to have a severe impact on the fixed investment logistics sector in the short term to long term. In the aviation industry, capital that could have been used to expand the sector is channeled towards rescuing airline operators that are facing bankruptcy, while airline operators with strong balance sheets have withheld their capital expenditure program to fulfill their liquidity needs. Freight and logistics have experienced consolidation as large operators with strong balance sheets acquire operators with financial distress. With regard to public transport, the effects of COVID-19 pandemic have presented an opportunity to bring about the necessary long-term transformation of the public transport sector. One of the most impactful outcomes of the current challenges caused by the pandemic is the realization that public transport is an essential service. Transport and logistics industries are the entire engine of the economy. Trade cargo in many countries is transported through sea. However, the rise in shipment volumes will be dependent on manufacturing and mining output and demand exports and imports from different countries. In conclusion, for our transport system, the post-COVID-19 new normal will unfold in ways we cannot fully imagine, but it will be impacted upon by, among others, higher hygiene standards and lower occupancy numbers, a shift for white-collar workers from commuting to more work from home via technology platforms, more regionalization of economies, and shortening of supply chains, and better rapid response abilities through more decentralization and modularization, with important implications for demand in the freight and logistics sector. I wish you all the best in your deliberation. I wish I could be delivering this live, but unfortunately, because of other commitments, it is impossible. I wish to be with you in Albania and to be amongst you and to get fresh ideas of how we take the social democratic revolution forward. It has been an experience for me over the years and a decade leading IUSY internationally in the world. And coming to this platform, it reignites those good memories. And also, and the forever imagination that the struggle continues and the socialist democratic revolution continues, and young people are still at the helm of that particular revolution. And I hope to see you soon, physically, whenever the time permits. Thank you for the invitation. And I hope not to disappoint in the future. I will be with you. Long live and power to the people, as we say down here. Long live and power to the people. Amandla Nawethu. Thank you very much.